Hello everyone, today we are not doing gameplay. We're going to blabber about OP07 meta, more specifically the ladder ranked meta. And this is all thanks to OP Bounty offering a way for us to play online on digital client and play ranked and have a ladder system. So obviously the more you win, the more you climb, and then you can qualify to their own tournament. And their tournaments have a prize pool. I think now it's around $1,000, maybe a little bit more even. So it is growing, it is getting better, and it's only going to continue growing from here. So if you're looking to play competitively, that's one way to do it. We're going to use OP Bounty stats to see what players are up to, which decks are gaining popularity, which decks have the most play, and which decks are performing better. I wrote an article on this, so we're going to go through it and see the top decks in the game right now. So the first deck that has been crushing the meta, or at least in popularity, it's Black Robe Lucci. So Black Robe Lucci has the most games on ladder. That's not even close. It has, this past week, it has 17,000 games on its own. Second place comes in, I think, around 12,000. So there is a big difference between them. Black Robe Lucci, mostly it's a control deck, black control deck, which relies on Robe Lucci as its main win con, and you can keep cheating it out through Gecko Moria and through Spandine. And through that you just control the board and slowly you start winning the game. This deck is really popular because it's good against stuff like RP low, and it has a good chance against Green Bonnie as well. The bad thing is it really sucks against a Black Yellow Luffy. It's really bad, so it kind of struggles into it. Now these matchups are from the OP Bounty stats. So the problem with OP Bounty stats right now is that we can't filter through ranks, so don't take them too seriously, but I just wanted to add them in the article for people. Some of them are accurate, some might not be too accurate if you have two good players playing against each other. So other cards that I'm sharing the popular list, but obviously there are other lists people are including. Some cards like Monkey D. Luffy, the 5 cost. This is really good because instead of KOing, it trashes things. So it's really good against Black Yellow Luffy to bypass the Sabo immunity, right? Finger Pistol, also a removal card, a KO removal card, and it has a really strong trigger effect, so you can play it for free. Brook kind of works similar to Monkey D. Luffy here, trashes instead of KOs. So it's a counter for Black Yellow Luffy. Borsalino, a blocker to protect your leader, good in the mirror. And we have, I saw these two cards, I don't think they're that good, but I saw them on the stats and I wanted to include them. Bluno and Robe Lucci. Bluno is basically a blocker if you give him one Don, and if he does get KO'd, you can cheat out one of your 4 cost from your trash. So I guess you can either jam a Rebecca. No, you can't actually jam Rebecca. It has to be a CP type, so you can bring back Kaku or Robe Lucci on the field. Robe Lucci, if you play him, you return 3 cards and you force your opponent to discard a card. Kind of cut out the resources. It's nice maybe in the slow matchups, but not really. These 2 cards aren't really popular, but they have been played on the sim. Red Purple Low comes in second. This is the standard list right now. Shuraya can be switched for low if you really want to add low in there. I did mention low somewhere here. So you could add low. We've got Tony Chopper. Some lists are running Tony Chopper. Portuguese Ace for the slower matchups. He gives minus 3,000 to 2 characters. He doesn't gain rush in this deck, but this minus 3,000 lets leader low remove one of the characters, and you could attack into the other character and remove it easily. Sanji is good for the Anil matchup because Anil will usually avoid attacking your leaders to leave you at 4 health, and leaving you at 4 health means they can KO stuff like Bonclay, Penguin, Ayn, Reiju with the Gedatsu, right? So it's kind of super annoying. So you play Sanji and you self-damage and you kind of shut down that Gedatsu play, and from there you can build up a wide board and start attacking their leader. It's actually struggling into Black Moria a lot, so it's beating a lot of the popular decks, but it's struggling into Black Moria. It has a close matchup into Rob Lucci, if I remember correctly. Like, Rob Lucci has a slight advantage against it. Let's see, Yellow NL, 3rd place. Last week it was 5th place, so it actually has been gaining popularity, and it has been doing a lot really well on ladder and tournaments. I think it won at a regional tournament recently. NL, Rush NL is becoming super popular in the list. We have it's kind of the standard list, just with Rush NL now becoming really popular. Other cards people are including are Sabo. Sabo is good because he can KO a 5 cost or less. Well, he does self damage you once, but I think the only downside is that card is going to the trash. You're not actually drawing it, so it's kind of a downside. Also, Thunderbolt, lower cost removal card, can KO up to 1 character with a cost of 5 or less, but also trashes the top card of your life. So these cards are tax, some lists are running, but they're not really a must. Green Bonnie is in the 4th place, kind of the standard list with 1 Zoro, and you're relying on the Eustace Captain Kid to set up the birdcage, the fortress, and with Zoro and Holly Jones you can win the game. Doffy slows down things for you until you can set up your final play. The thing is, with Bonnie you do have to bank 1 Don every turn, so you can rest things, and Urug is really important to do that, right? It's beating stuff like Enel, it's beating Luffy, and it's beating Perona. It's beating Enel, and so it's beating Luffy because Luffy struggles to go through the fortress because they don't really have reliable tools to remove your blockers, so they can't set up 1 big attack and just KO the kid. And also, if you drop a Zoro, they're kind of doomed, right? You just can't do anything if you manage to drop a Zoro. And we are good into Perona, we're good into Enel. Enel is a good matchup for us, mostly because Fortress is a bit annoying, with Rosinante as well on the board. They're gonna struggle to remove it, right? Even with Rego, it just doesn't do it. RP Low, tough matchup. Moria's tough matchup on the sim apparently, and Blue Doffy is a tough matchup. Assuming Blue Doffy is a tough matchup because they're going super wide. I haven't really played the matchup. I'm assuming they're going super wide and just slamming your leader with a lot of attacks. And they've got some removal cards. Maybe they're removing, I guess, Urug early on, and they're removing Cavendish, so it's kind of shutting down your Dawn generation. And 5th place, Black Yellow Luffy. Now, Black Yellow Luffy, the funny thing about Black Yellow Luffy is that on the sim, like in ranked in tournaments, it's doing really well, and it's winning tournaments, and it's making top 16. But on the sim, it has a negative win rate. It has a 48% win rate, and I think that comes down to players playing the deck bad on the sim. And the problem with the current stats we have is everything is summed up together. I can't like filter it with top 1000 players or top 100 players. I have to use all the stats all together. So I guess that's lowering the win rate of Black Yellow Luffy. It has gone up since last week, and I'm assuming it's only going to go up if players improve on the deck. It's really good against black decks, so Rob Lucci, Gecko Moria are going to have an awful time against Black Yellow Luffy because of Sabo, right? But it is losing to Green Bonnie, Blue Doflamingo, and Anal. Anal is just going to avoid attacking you at all, set up multiple characters on the board, and those multiple characters will just win the game, right? And they're big characters, you just cannot deal with them as Black Yellow Luffy. 6th place, we have also Kuzan and Thunderbolt are being ran as tech cards in the list. Kuzan is really good because on turn 4, on Dawn 4, with Black Hair Luffy, you usually don't have anything to do other than playing Hiyori and playing one of your kids out, right? That's kind of the only combo you have on Dawn 4. So if you don't have it, you don't really have anything to do on Dawn 4. So Kuzan kind of fixes that because he's dropping on the board, drawing you a card. At the same time, opponent doesn't want you to keep Kuzan on the board because Kuzan is doing a -4 cost reduction, and which works well with Monkey D. Luffy, right? So we have also Thunderbolt removal card, and Big Kuzan for the slow matchup can KO a 5 cost immediately on play, and if he sticks on the board, he helps you remove higher cost things with Monkey D. Luffy. I forgot to talk about the Bonnie tech card. So this is not really popular, but it is a tech play, which is good against Black Lucci, right? So the idea of this is you play 8 cost Rosinante, and 8 cost Rosinante can cheat out Monkey D. Luffy. Now what happens here is that 8 cost Rosinante will be protecting Monkey D. Luffy from any KO removal threats. So like Rob Lucci or Kaku or something cannot remove Monkey D. Luffy anymore. But Monkey D. Luffy is protecting everything else from getting KO'd if they drop to 3 cost or less. So if you want to KO something with Rob Lucci, you have to drop them down to their cost, right? So now they're in range for Monkey D. Luffy to protect them. So Rob Lucci is kind of useless to remove things. So you'd have to have something like a Brook, 6 cost Brook, to kind of bypass it. And that's one tech people are testing out on ladder. It's not really popular in tournaments, but it is a tech people are testing out. 7 or 6? We're 6, I think. Yeah, I think we're 6 here. It's Blue Nami. So Blue Nami is popular on ladder. It had a higher win rate last week, but now it dropped. It was 51.7, now it's 48% win rate. And I think the reason it dropped because Blue Doflamingo became popular, and RG Low, people were playing RG Low a lot after it won a tournament in Germany. It won first place, a regional, and people were playing it a lot, and RG Low kind of farms Blue Nami. 7th place, Blue Doflamingo, gained a lot of popularity recently. It is pure board aggression with Doffy's ability to cheat out a character. You can go wide with Jembe as well, and you start pushing a lot of damage. You don't run out of resources easily because of Kaido, and we have the removal cards Gum Gum Red Rock and Gravity Raging Tiger to remove annoying targets. We're running also 3 Boa Hancock. She stuns a card and removes a 1 cost. It's kind of not too bad, and she is a big body. She's a 6 cost, 8000 power character. It's beating stuff like Bonnie, it's beating Luffy, and it's obviously beating Nami. It's losing to Analdo, it's losing to Cat called Moria, and it's losing to Rob Lucci. Tech cards, some lists are running the Sanji and Mihawk combo. The plan is to play the Doflamingo, the 3 cost Doflamingo, sort out your top cards, then play your Sanji. You want to put this Mihawk on the top of the deck, you play Mihawk for free, and you return a 7 cost. So it's kind of an insane turn for you that shifts the pressure in your favor. Boa Hancock, 8th place, very kind of dropped in win rate compared to last week, but it's I don't think there's a reason to play Boa Hancock over Doffy. I think Doffy is just doing better because it can apply more pressure on the board, even though Boa feels like she's better for the slower matchups, right? Because the longer the game takes, Boa will generate more value through her built-in mechanic, but Doffy is still kind of cheating out the character also, so it's kind of the same as well. But yeah, this has been performing less than the Doffy deck. It has a 47% win rate. Doffy I think 50% win rate, and Doffy has more games. 9th place is Black Pirona. Got popular a little bit on tournaments. It's a control deck, not as controlish as Rob Lucci, right? Because Rob Lucci has the 4-cost Lucci, they have Kaku, so they have different cards to remove things. Here you only have Ryuma and you have Sabu as removal, that's it. But you do have access to Zoro, and this Zoro is really useful because in matchups like Black Yellow Luffy, now you can beat them if you jam the Zoro on the board, unlike Rob Lucci that literally crumbles against Black Yellow Luffy. It is beating Blue Doflamingo. It's also beating Black Yellow Luffy thanks to the Zoro. You could maybe up them up to 2 if you're seeing too many of the Zoros. It's losing to Black Moria, losing to Lucci, losing to RP Low, losing to Ano. So it is losing to a lot of matchups, unfortunately, but it does have potential. Helmeppo is a consideration instead of the one-legged Toy Soldier, because the thing is with this Toy Soldier, it is a 2k counter, which is nice, but if you're trying to cheat it out with Black Moria, it only works if you have Kyuzuki Hiyori and if you have Ryuma in your hand. So the idea is you play Moria, you play Hiyori, you play Toy Soldier, you activate Toy Soldier, then you activate Hiyori, then you cheat out Ryuma. But if you don't have Hiyori in your trash, you play Moria, you cheat out Ryuma, you cannot cheat out this Toy Soldier because it is not an on-play effect, it's an activate main effect. So this doesn't synergize with this. So you'd have to cheat out Tsuru instead. So players some lists are running Helmeppo instead, because you guarantee you can combo it with Ryuma without needing Hiyori. It also has a lot of card draw thanks to You Can Be My Samurai. Stasi is a consideration to add to the list, because you have a lot of cards you can KO, right? We've got Kuzuki, we've got Otama, we got I don't really like KOing Belmer, but it is a consideration. Also Tsuru is a consideration. These things we can KO and we can take advantage of Stasi. Hidden Gems, these are two decks. I think I added 2, no 3 decks. I won't spoil the third, that are doing well on ladder. They're holding their own, and the first one is Gecko Moria. Gecko Moria has actually one of the highest win rates on ladder. Doesn't have a lot of play rate, so it's not very accurate, but it has one of the highest win rates. And the list is it's kind of the standard list with the issue, a lot of issues. This one is running 3 issues and 2 Kuzan. Also tech cards, some lists are running Brook. It is a consideration to add Brook. Katakuri has a positive win rate. I think it has around 52-53% win rate right now, which isn't bad compared to the top tier decks. It doesn't have a lot of play rate though, so it's not super accurate. And people are running Randolph in the list, and 1 Charlotte Campot, kind of big body, right? 2 big bodies, and we're running 1 Thunderbolt to KO things, and mostly relying on Gidatsu and Linlin for the late game. 1 Katakuri only, 8 cost Katakuri. Purple Luffy, the 3rd hidden gem. This deck has exactly 50% win rate, so it has potential and it is performing well, but this list is mostly geared toward mid-game aggression. We have a lot of 4 cost and 5 cost, so we can cheat them out with our leader ramping on turn 2. So if we're on turn 2, we've got let's say we're going first, we've got 3 Dawn, now we have 4 Dawn, so we have access to Utta, Low, Ulti, Page, Bonclay, so we have access to a lot of cards. If we're going even, so we have 4 Dawn, we ramp up, now we're 5 Dawn, we can play Queen, Kid. I don't like playing Queen though. We can go Kid, Polly, or Megalyn for the early game, right? And these are super annoying. These 3 are super annoying for the opponent. So this deck has potential, and they're running 3 Sheep's Horn in there to rest things, maybe to attack them, or to rest a blocker, and then you just go face and attack the opponent's leader. Kaido for the late game. Underperformers. So this deck had a lot of hype over it after it won regionals, but it didn't really live to the hype. Red Green Low is completely getting bullied by Black Lucci on ladder. It's not really a good sight to see at all. It has a 38% win rate, if I remember correctly. 38% win rate on ladder, so it's not really doing that well. Meme tier, Vegapunk, unfortunately, even though I really love Vegapunk, even when I've played it, it didn't feel too bad. It just felt super slow, right? Gedatsu, this list is running Gedatsu. Is it running Yamato? Yeah, we have 4 Yamatos. I didn't really like the aces too much. Like, I would be down to drop the aces at least to 2 copies, because I always struggled to play the ace for some reason. They're not running the stage though in this list at all. No stage. Just 4 ace, 4 categories, and 4 Gedatsu. So it's kind of controlish as at most. And another meme tier, Red Black Sabu. I'm gonna be honest, I've never played the Red Black Sabu, but maybe one day we'll test it out, see how the deck runs. But just looking at it, this list has some weird numbers. Only 2 copies of Kid and Killer, 1 copy of Red Zoro, 1 copy of Monkey D. Luffy, Sakazuki for removal, Thatch for some reason, 6 cost, 8000 power. We've got Blocker Sabu and Monkey D. Dragon and Black Moria. So Black Moria is bringing back Kid and Killer, maybe Borsalino, Brook. So it is bringing things. What else is he bringing? 2 costs? We can bring Koala or Brook, or maybe Otama if we want to use her effect, but I don't feel like we're going to use Otama that much. Maybe Brook, I feel like, most likely, because we do gain back the 2-don, right? We can use it offensively. Third deck, Blue, Black, Rebecca. Fun leader to play, control deck, has some removal, and Pudding can be super annoying. We're usually using Kairos as a removal, and or Lumbos for the cost reduction, right? Monkey D. Luffy is our powerhouse. He attacks twice, can attack active characters. Black Moria for that additional value. And we've got some control with the Gravity Plate Raging Tiger. We've got Hound Blaze as well. So we have some tools with us here for control. But yeah, that's kind of it. This is kind of the meta at the moment on the ranked sim. This is not tournament meta, but it is very similar to tournament meta if you think about it. The popular decks are similar to those of the tournament meta. We've got Rob Lucci and RP Low and Anil as top 3, and followed closely by Green Bonnie, Black Yellow Luffy. Nami isn't that popular, but we do see her in tournaments. So this is pretty much a ranked meta report. Let me know your thoughts about OP07 so far. What decks are you playing? Which decks are you finding fun or finding success with? Oh yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Take care and goodbye.